Hi guys, welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles S. And let's talk about it. The movie that has been the most talked about over the freaking weekend. Yes, the short film with Island Bay Rihanna and probably one of my favorite crossover also musicians, Childish Gambino. He made some pretty good island music. I'm not gonna front. Like, Stone Mountain, Hawaii. I was like, Childish Gambino made some great island music. But let's talk about this film. So, this film is pretty much the director's hero. Is the director. The screenwriter is Steph Glover. I wonder if that's Childish Gambino's brother. I'm not for sure. But it's really interesting. Also, Childish Gambino's a part of it. Pretty much, Childish Gambino in this movie, and like I said, I'm not big on musical films. It's like a musical, comedy, thriller. I was just like, no. But I really did enjoy the movie. So let's talk about the movie. So it starts off with this island called Gauva Island. At the beginning, it has animation, kind of giving you the story that the guys came up with this island. And it deals with two lovers. So let me just tell you something. It's an interesting lover story. Okay, you got the musician, which is Childish Gambino. He plays Denny. Pretty much he's a musician, a struggling musician at that. That's the thing that I really like about this movie. He's a working, struggling musician. Okay. Then you got his love interest, which is Coffee. My God, Island Bay Rihanna, you will forever be in my heart. But pretty much, Rihanna is pretty much Coffee, which is the woman that she fell in love with Coffee as a kid. And throughout this movie, there was some things that really worked out for this movie. Okay, let's be honest. I'm not a big musical person when it comes to movies. That really worked out with Childish Gambino's performances. He used his own songs. He made his own songs for this movie. Some of the songs were from previous work that he's done. I was okay with that because it kind of fit the movie. It wasn't just like they spewed music and it's just like, ugh, why is this a part of the movie? It made complete sense, okay? And that's something that really worked with this movie. The musicals were really interesting. This is America, one of Childish Gambino's most controversial songs about how racism is in America. That was a very interesting performance that I saw within the movie. When he talks about his co-workers, they're like, hey, we want to go to America. And Childish Gambino like, it's the same thing. It's, you know what I'm saying? They're going through stuff like how we're going through stuff. Even though we're on an island, this is a different type of thing. It's not the same. It's the same old system dealing with capitalism and all this stuff. It was a very interesting look on like people wanting to find freedom. Also, with Childish Gambino character, Denny may have been a struggling musician. That was the key component. But I felt Childish Gambino character was more free. He wasn't like, it seemed like that's really what he wanted to do. He really wanted to be a musician. He struggled to be one because the guy, the big cheese of the island, aka his boss, did not want him to perform at the festival. So that also gives you a conflict. Sometimes you have dreams, right? But there are going to be people that are going to put a stop to what you really want to do. And that's something that people probably could relate to. Childish Gambino character having a sense of purpose of what he really wanted to do, despite him being a struggling musician, working at a radio station, getting stuck up by the younger kids. But also we see that Childish Gambino's character, Denny, really cares about Coffee, which is Rihanna's character. And that really worked out. We saw the dynamics, but we also seen that Coffee, she was pretty secretive. We learned that Coffee is pregnant with pretty much Denny's baby, but there is a conflict between the two. She had never told Denny that she had a kid on the way. She talks to her friend, which is played by the character from Black Panther, Shuri's the actress. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but you can see she's like, hey, you need to tell him. She's like, no, he wants to be a musician. That'll ruin his dream. And he's not expecting for me to have a kid. This is what Coffee tells her coworker. And it was really interesting because we see that Coffee really loved him, despite him being a struggling musician. That was something that really stuck out with this film. Sometimes we love people, but can we love people without certain things? Can we love them without the money? Can we love them without certain aspects of us and expecting more? Because Coffee loved this man unconditionally. He was a struggling musician, number one. He wasn't making enough money, as we saw pretty much. He was at a job he didn't want to be at. But she still loved him despite not having a certain, how I can say, materialistic aspect. He didn't have money. I mean, he did little things for her. Like he sung to her and stuff, which is really sweet. But can we love people minus a status? That's something that I really loved about this film. I thought that was really interesting because a lot of us, we love people, but just a materialistic or how can I say, a jaded perception. That's what I felt about this. It was like, can you love people for who they really are, minus not having certain things? Because if you can't, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So we see that Coffee and Denny have a unconditional love for one another. But I love short films, you know what I'm saying? I didn't expect this to be a short film. Like, Amazon, why'd y'all do this to my heart? But I gotta say, despite Childish Gambino character, Denny getting killed by his own boss, that shows you that sometimes the people that look, how can I say, not look up to you, the people that don't want to see your dream come true sometimes be the dream killers. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it symbolized, that sometimes you have to fight for what you really want in your life. And like I said, Childish Gambino character, he felt more free-spirited, unlike Coffee. You know what I'm saying? Coffee was just trying to get away from the island. Childish Gambino did not want to get away from the island, his character, Denny, So we see that the main person that pretty much killed Denny was the person that kidnapped him, his own boss, the tyrant of the island, or dictator as you want to call it. And we never really felt why he was like that. We just knew that maybe because he felt that Denny was trying to live his dream, that he felt like he was a threat. He like, you're going to make everybody else want to quit and pursue their dream. Because sometimes when one person sees you trying to do something, other people tend to follow and they say, hey, you know what? I want to do what I'm really passionate about. So I did enjoy this movie. I loved at the end when Coffee confronted Denny's boss. And you could see, like, she was not upset. She was not hurt. She wasn't broken. She empowered the strong island girl type of thing. Thanks, Rihanna, for doing that. That was really a wonderful experience because I guess he thought killing him was going to solve it. He did his concert. It wasn't on the day of because he told him, like, look, I'm going to take off then. And he said, no, you can't do that. Like, the people are not going to come to your concert. So this movie was really, for it to be a short movie, it was really dope. I was just like, yo, I love the chemistry between Childish Gambino and Rihanna's characters. I like the message overall with the movie. Like I said, there are some musicals throughout this movie. If you're a musical person, check it out. It's also a thriller because I was trying to figure out, like, okay, it has some comedy because we've seen Childish Gambino interacting with the other island kids. They're like the stick-up kids. And you had the other kids that were singing. He's pretty much serenading Coffee. And like I said, I really give this movie, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. This movie was definitely good. Like I said, I'm not big on short films, but I said, my God, this was a good short film. I wish they would have showed Coffee and her child at the end, since Childish Gambino's character Denny died. He was killed by his boss. And sometimes we see, you are at war with your own people, like black people in general, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to do something, people will try to put a halt to it and everything. And that's something that I saw in the movie. It's like the boss hated him. He had someone that loved him unconditionally. The boss didn't have nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be a musician. Like I said, he wanted to help his people, which was really interesting. Free-spirited, We also learned that he told us, his co-workers, like, look, America ain't no better. You know what I'm saying? They going through their own system of oppression, slavery, all this stuff. Like I said, like, this movie was definitely something I will watch again. Like I said, I really like the chemistry between the two people and stuff like that. But also, like I said, how do you look at love after seeing this movie? Would you love somebody like that? Despite them struggling and trying to make the best of their life and being a musician, because that's a hard road. But guys, until next time, it's your boy Professor Charles. Until next time, Mom and Ty, have a great day.